Hey guys, it's a bit windy and noisy out here today, so I will be voicing over for this class. So we are going to start today in a kneeling position on our mat. So just grounding yourself and taking a deep breath in and out. And taking your right hand just behind you and sweeping your left arm across your body into a mini back bend. Just feeling that nice stretch along the front of your body. And calming forward and taking it over to the left side. Don't have to go too deep here, you shouldn't feel any pain. And calming across one more side to the right, lifting your hips if that is available to you, if that feels good. And over to the left side. Again, lifting your hips if that feels good for you. Now, coming back into your kneeling position and taking your hands forward and reaching your chest through. Feel that nice stretch through your shoulders and through your chest. And then coming back up into our first downward dog. Just maybe walking your legs out if you need to here. And on your next inhale, taking your right foot into the air and bending it and lifting your head, almost like you're coming into a scorpion, and coming through into a pigeon pose. Taking that back foot back a bit further, reaching your chest through, feeling that nice stretch on the outside of your leg. Now, keeping your foot in the pigeon position, lift your hips back into a down dog. You should feel that nice stretch along the outside of your right thigh. Doesn't matter if you can't straighten your leg. And then back into your pigeon. Coming back up, right foot back into the air, bending and tilting your head back towards your foot. And taking your right foot to the outside of your left hand and opening up into a fallen triangle. Taking your hand behind the back of your head and cradling it and opening up a little bit further if that's comfortable for you. Bringing your hand back down and your foot back up into your three-legged dog, bending at the knee and flipping over into your side plank, dropping that top foot down and again cradling the back of your head and opening up a bit further and coming back into a low lunge and stepping back into your downward dog. Just taking a few breaths here. And on your next inhale, lifting that left leg into the air, bending the knee, three-legged dog, lifting your head back, and then coming into your pigeon. Taking that right foot back, reaching your chest through. And leaving your feet as they are, lifting your hips and coming back into a down dog position and feeling that nice stretch along the outside of your left leg. Coming back down into pigeon and then back up into three-legged dog, bend your knee, lift your head back into scorpion and then stepping that left foot through and opening up into your fallen triangle. Taking your hand back and cradling your head. Now your hand back down to the ground, your foot back up into three-legged dog, bending at the knee and opening up into your side plank, taking that foot back to the ground and cradling the back of your head. Feel a deeper opening. Now your left hand back down to the ground and your foot down into your low lunge. And stepping back into your down dog. And on your next inhale, taking your right leg into the air, bending at the knee into scorpion, and coming through into your pigeon. Reaching your chest through, lifting your hips back and straightening that front leg. Feeling the nice stretch and then coming back down into pigeon, reaching your chest through, lifting back up into three-legged dog, bending at the knee, coming through into your fallen triangle, reaching your left hand up and back to cradle your head for an extra opening, and your left hand back down, stepping back, bending the knee and then rolling over into your high plank, taking your foot back and cradling the back of your head again, and taking that right hand to the ground and stepping through into your low lunge. Now bringing that left foot up, grabbing the left toe and stepping through into a pistol squat. If you need to drop your foot onto the floor, that's fine. If you want a little bit extra, take your right hand up to heart. Now when you're ready, take your right hand to the ground for support. Keep grabbing onto your left toe and coming up to a standing position, and then reaching your left foot out straight in front of you and trying to keep your hips square. And then letting go of your left big toe and swinging your left foot back and coming into your warrior three. Either keeping your hands behind you or bringing your hands to heart in front of you. Now making sure your right glute is activated and slowly lowering into your lunge. Hands up and a mini back bend. Hands down to the ground and back into your downward dog. And then again on the other side. So on your next inhale, your left leg comes into the air, bending at the knee, coming down into your pigeon pose, reaching your chest through and lifting your hips back, straightening that left leg. Back down into your pigeon pose. Up into your three-legged dog, bend at the knee, lifting the head, arching the back, and coming through into your fallen triangle. Opening up that right hand, cradling back of your head. Right hand to the ground, stepping back into your three-legged dog, rolling over into your side plank. Stepping your foot to the ground, cradling the back of your head. Left hand to the ground, stepping your left foot through into your low lunge. Now grabbing your right big toe, bringing that forward and sitting down into your pistol squat. Again, put your foot on the ground if you need to. And if you want to take it a little bit extra, take your left hand to heart. Otherwise, putting your left hand back to the ground, holding onto the right foot, coming up to standing, and taking that right foot out in front of you. Keeping your hips square. Letting go of that right toe, coming back into your warrior three. Activating that left glute. Taking your hands to heart. And then slowly lowering into your lunge. Lifting your hands into a mini back bend and then back into your down dog. Taking a round of breath here. On your next inhale, right leg into the air, bend at the knee, coming through into your pigeon pose. Lifting your hips back and back into pigeon. Stepping back, three-legged dog, bending at the knee, coming into your fallen triangle, cradling the back of your head. Right leg back into three-legged dog, opening up into your side plank. Right foot goes back, opening up even more to the sky. Now bringing that right foot through into your low lunge. stepping that left foot forward, grabbing the left toe, coming into your pigeon, sorry, not your pigeon, your pistol squat. Right hand to heart. Taking your right hand to the ground for support, bending that left, then coming back up to standing. Left foot reaches out in front, still holding onto that big toe. Now letting go, taking your foot behind you and grabbing the inside of the back of your foot, reach your right arm up and reaching forward into your dancer's pose, pushing your foot into the back of your palm, reaching your hand forward. You should feel a nice opening through the front of your body. Then slowly releasing that foot and coming into your warrior three. Activating that right glute and slowly lowering down up into your lunge. Hands back to the ground. Taking your hips back into a pyramid pose, grabbing that right big toe. Bending your knees, coming into your side plank and reaching your right leg up into full Vashisthasana. Taking that right leg back to the ground, opening up, cradling your head into Wild Thing. And coming forward, back into your low lunge on your right and into your down dog. One last time on the other side. So your next inhale, reaching your left leg into the air, bending at the knee, mini back bend, coming into your pigeon pose, reaching your chest through, lifting your hips back, straightening that front leg, back into pigeon. Three-legged dog, bend the knee, fallen triangle. Right hand lifts up, cradle the back of your head, right hand back down to the ground, three-legged dog. Bending at the knee, mini back bend, opening into your side plank, top foot to the ground, cradling the back of your head, left hand to the ground, stepping through into your low lunge, bringing your back foot through, grabbing the big toe and sitting into your pistol squat. Taking your left hand to heart if that's available to you. Now back to the ground for support, coming up to standing. Taking your right foot out in front. Letting go of the big toe, grabbing your foot from behind, lifting your left hand into the air, reach forward with your hand and kick into your right hand to open up through the chest, trying to keep your hips square to the ground as you can. Now letting that foot go, coming into your warrior three, activating that left glute and slowly lowering into your lunge, hands up into the air and lifting your hips back into your pyramid pose, grabbing your left front big toe, rolling over into your side plank and taking your left foot up into full Vashisthasana. Letting that foot drop back behind you and opening up into your Wild Thing. And taking your right hand back to the ground and slowly coming into your Child's Pose. Taking a few breaths here just to reset yourself. Now coming up and coming over onto your back. And taking your feet in towards your bum, making sure your middle finger can touch the back of your heel, and you can either lift your hips up into bridge if you like here, or you can take your hands with your fingers pointing towards your toes just underneath your shoulders and coming up into your wheel pose. And both poses you want to make sure your knees are hugging together and they're not going out wider than your ankle. And you're wanting to try and get your hands underneath your shoulders and your knees on top of your ankle, and slowly coming back down the same way you went in. Just having a nice breath here. And we're going to go for it one more time. You can either come into your bridge or into your wheel. So coming back up, lifting up with your hips. And coming back down the same way that you went in. Hugging your knees to the chest, maybe rocking side to side, just to loosen your lower back. Coming into happy baby, grabbing the outsides of your feet. Here again, rock side to side if that's what feels good for you. And taking your right knee into your chest and your left leg long. Switching over to the other side. And then releasing your left foot down. Coming into your final Shavasana. Relaxing your shoulders down your back. Your feet are nice and wide and your palms are facing up. You can stay in Shavasana as long as you like, otherwise rolling onto your side, coming up to a seated position. I hope you had a lovely class. Namaste.